And we're back, brother. Ooh, yeah. We're talking Beetlejuice, the second of the fray of the Beetlejuice movies that are 40 years apart almost. We are joined, as always, by Billy Laydad and me, Joe Dove. What's going on, Billy? How you been?
Good. It's nice. Well rested. Back for another 1 week later.
All right.
And it's just, we didn't make people wait as long as they did for the sequel, but we made people wait for a while.
Yeah, I mean, we gave it a little bit more than a week, but that's okay. You know, the world is forgiving. Let us hop into the synopsis. 3 generations of the Dietz family return to Winter River after an unexpected family tragedy, which is hilarious, believe it or not. Still haunted by Beetlejuice, Lydia's life soon gets turned upside down when her rebellious teenage daughter discovers a mysterious portal to the afterlife. When somebody says Beetlejuice named 3 times, the mischievous demon gleefully returns to unleash his very own brand of mayhem. It's a fitting synopsis, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get right into it. What worked for you, Billy?
All right. The things that worked for me are the things they lifted directly from the Broadway stage show, which was Astrid's entire story arc.
Yeah.
Basically, Astrid was like the heart of the film.
Yeah.
Between her and Lydia. I mean, Lydia basically being like the absentee mother, while Astrid just kind of is like, Mom, quit being a pillhead and just try to be a parent. And yes, the Lydia became a pillhead. That's what.
Yeah, sick. What worked for me was the fact that Lydia became like a what is it, Jon Stewart? The crossing over with Jon Stewart. You remember that guy?
Yes, John Edwards.
John Edwards. Yeah, she became crossing over with John Edwards. I thought that was clever because she could literally see dead people. So very fitting. I really love the B plot with the daughter going into the afterlife. I didn't see the Beetlejuice Broadway play, so to me it was a shock. Like when all of a sudden you realize what his game was, and he was trying to switcheroo with Astrid. It was like, oh snap! I did not see that coming. And the reveal with like his dad had the thing through his face, and his mom had the egg beater through hers. I thought that was very well done. Yes. Very dark though. I was like, oh god, that's so dark. But it's Tim Burton. What do you expect?
Oh, the deaths, all the corpses and everybody in the afterlife had such great visuals. Like,
yeah,
Tim Burton found great ways to kill every single person in this film.
Yeah, even his girlfriend, Monica Bellucci, just looked absolutely stunning in this movie, even as a corpse. And we got a little backstory of Beetlejuice. I appreciated that. It was like, I was wondering, well, how old is he actually? How did he die? Like, what's his story? And, 30 years ago, it was like, no, you don't need that. It's fine. And then here we go, 30 some odd years later, we get that backstory, and it's pretty neat. But it would appear that he didn't die after the poisoning.
Yeah, he survived long enough to do an axe murder.
Yeah, but did that kill him, or did he survive that whole thing? We don't know. It's a good question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that one that remains to be seen. Maybe we'll get a Beetlejuice, and then we'll figure it all out. But another great... Oh, I said it 3 times. Yeah. Anyway, I loved Michael Keaton's portrayal of Beetlejuice after 30 some odd years. I think it still worked. It was fantastic. He really killed it. Every time I was on scene, I was excited. When he wasn't on scene, it was a little bit slower. Bringing the entire Dietz family back. I knew it was going to be the dad that they had to come back for, but I didn't know how they were going to do it, because obviously that man has some issues as of late because of, children stuff. And of course he couldn't be in this movie, so they had to go with the story that they went with, which worked very well.
I love the little claymation death scene that they gave him, because
even
without him being in the thing, they gave him a proper send-off.
Yeah, exactly. And the shark, like, oh, the plane crashed. Oh, that's how he died. No, he managed to swim, and he was fine for a while. Oh, So he drowned. No, he managed to get on the wing of a plane and he started to go further, and then the shark ate him. It's like, oh. So
And
he
then they have
really,
the shark fin tombstone.
yeah, there was a lot of the imagery of this movie was fantastic. The shark tombstone like had me dying. I laughed so hard for a lot of the stuff. It was very clever.
And
Um,
the children's choir sing Deo.
yeah, there were so many callbacks that was great. Like the callbacks in this movie are absolutely fantastic, including the intro to the when they're going through um the model of the town, and you see
Mhm.
the Dietz's, the not the Dietz's, the original family. What was the names?
Maitland's.
Yeah, the
Maitland's
Maitlands.
Hardware.
Yeah, you see the Maitlands like in the and they're basically the river because they drowned in the first movie. And you see like the car
Mhm.
later on upside down and everything. I thought that was brilliant. They did such a good job
Mhm.
with this because obviously Gina Davis and Alec
Yeah,
Baldwin
Gina
are not,
Davis explained why she didn't come back.
because how am I be old? Yeah,
Yeah, she said, well, technically, ghosts never age, and she's not 20 anymore.
yeah. But it worked. Everything worked, especially the casting of Willem Dafoe as the detective, ghost detective. That's really an actor that got blown up because he didn't wanted to do his own stunts.
Yeah, but I love
Hilarious.
like how they made like the fake brain and stuff, and that's all makeup. You can tell that
Yeah,
that's not like
CGI.
practical.
Yeah, they did a great job with this movie. Um, I love the return of Danny DeVito, reuniting Danny DeVito and Michael Keaton, but really through Tim Burton again. This is
And
also
they did a lot better than they did in Dumbo.
yeah. This is now technically the third Batman movie we never got. Return of the Penguin as the janitor. And I love like the minute he came out of the closet going and choking on this stuff, it was just like as he was in Penguin in Batman Returns. It was like a familiar face had returned in a new form. What did you think of Monica Bellucci's character?
Good, but they didn't really use her that much. But I mean, like considering what they showed in the advertisements, she was mainly for the advertisements. She was
Yeah,
like,
basically, yeah. But
but
I
she had some great visuals though.
right, her sucking the soul out of everybody was pretty dope.
And I just still love that assembly scene when she puts herself together with the staple gun.
Yeah, that was cool. That was one of the more memorable moments of the movie. I think they did such a great job visually with this and the makeup wise. All right, well, we can't talk enough good things about this movie. Well, let's find the harder stuff. All right, Bills, what didn't work for you?
Justin Theroux, the Lydia's boyfriend, was such a terrible actor in this film. Like, I know, like he's supposed to be like unlikable as the con man, like opportunist trying to capitalize on a widower or being on a
Mm-hmm.
widow, but like the actor just seemed like I could have seen a better production, uh, like in an infomercial.
Oh God.
I was like, this guy should be selling ShamWow. What the hell, dude?
I mean, the way he
I,
had his hair, like it was like he was like Dracula a couple of times. It was like,
yes, he had definitely like that Dracula look, and I was just like,
yeah,
wow, the Flex Seal salesman is trying to
yeah,
convince everybody that he's not going to be the bad guy by the end of the film.
right.
I totally didn't see him coming.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, one thing I did see coming was, I mean, I didn't see coming for real was the twist with the boyfriend. Like the way they pieced that together when she hit her head on the treehouse,
Mm-hmm.
and then when she woke up, I was like, oh, maybe now. When she hit her head, I was like, oh wow. I was like, maybe in my head, I was like, oh, maybe now she could see dead people. Not realizing, yes, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, she's going to connect with one of the boys, and then they're going to see each other in town, and everything's going to be nice. She's going to have a good time. And that was going to be like our happy ending type of thing. And then it devolved, and he was just a
And
menace.
when they made him like the heel turn, like
That was incredible.
that was that was good, and they had we still said in the things that worked, that creative way that they killed off the parents.
Yeah. Yeah, they killed off all the parents in this movie. Lydia's parents are both gone in this. Even though that worked, it still was kind of messed up. What didn't work for me was the Soul Train bit. I was like, well, that's way too obvious.
And also dated.
Yeah.
Because anybody born after 1990 has no idea what the hell Soul Train is.
Soul Train is, yeah. That's a very
basically the 80s are going to be the last generation that gets that joke.
Yeah.
So congratulations. The people that are in their 40s got the joke, and anyone under 30 is like, what's the hell is a Soul Train?
What's a Soul Train?
Why are they dressing like disco?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a very
like,
weird choice.
You're going to have to explain to kids, that was a thing that happened in the 70s. And then they're going to look at you and go like, the 70s was like 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And then you're going to cry.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Did the returning chemistry of Lydia and Beetlejuice work for you?
Yes, I like that stuff. I still thought Winona Ryder didn't have much to do in this film. Like, she was very sedated, and well, her character was sedated throughout the movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say she was playing I think she did a great job playing a sedated character.
But it was like, wow. Like, they had the part where the mother even told her, like, get over it. Quit being a sad sack.
Yeah.
Try to be like the bitchy, like sarcastic goth girl that used to make her life hell.
Yeah.
Like, yep, I could agree with her. Please let Lydia like get some mojo back.
Yeah, it was weird. Like, I know that was specific because of the juxtaposition with the daughter, but yeah, I could see the need for some of the quirky sides that she had, always complaining and being wild. But yeah, I think it did work, but at first it was kind of like awkward, and then the of course big ending, playing that song,
MacArthur Park.
I was like, where have I heard this before? And this voice sounds familiar. Freaking Richard Harris, man. I had no idea he was a singer. And then it met like my buddy Dan, who I saw with. You remember Dan?
Yeah,
right?
I almost lived with the guy.
Yeah, you almost lived with him, right? He brought it up. It's funny that they used that song because that was like they left the cake, and he didn't want to take the cake, and because it had been there too long, and it's like, yeah, the Beetlejuice took too long, and they didn't really do it, but they ended up doing it. So it was a very cool juxtaposition. There was a lot of fun stuff, but there was a lot of other things going on, and that's talking about in the news. So we are going to share that. Yes. Warner Brothers slashed the Beetlejuice budget by $50 million, fearing it will flop. It made $264 million in 2 weeks. But not only that, it is number one for the third week in a row. It beat Transformers 1. So it's 3 weeks as a box office champ. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. I didn't expect that.
No. And it was almost not released in theaters, which I thought was pretty devastating because it was such a good flick, and it was a much needed feature in theaters because the graphics and the CGI are just amazing.
And it was a sequel that actually was enjoyable and memorable. Like I was telling you, like my friends and I were talking about, like the last Ghostbusters movie was so forgettable that when we tried to mention things, if we remember like an obscure fact, we'll just say like, I remember that obscure fact, but I still can't remember a goddamn thing about Frozen Empire. Meanwhile, like Beetlejuice, I can actually, like 3 weeks later, tell you plot points.
Yeah. So Beetlejuice has also been September's biggest box office hit. The latest sequel really resonated with the audience, following the success of Twisters and Bad Boys Ride or Die. However, the Sunday report that discussions over distribution costs for Beetlejuice from being made over a decade. At one point, the Warner Brothers the studio behind the film, wanted to release on their streaming platform Max instead. But these guys got together and they realized that probably wouldn't have been a bad idea. So they actually cut the budget, and it's now a humongous success. And so much so that we got a 3-week championship at the box office. So that's pretty cool. Number one with an additional 26 million. So it's really cultivating into a big hit. We are over the 300 million mark for this movie, so I'm super excited about that. And Transformers got another 25 million, so it's the movie I want to see once I'm back to being gainfully employed. So what do you think about all those news, man?
I think that's incredible. I don't know. It makes me hope that maybe not 30 years later we get another Beetlejuice movie.
Yeah, maybe they'll do it like in 2 years.
Just to get like because everybody knows that once you call your second one Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, you need to do Beetlejuice Beetlejuice Beetlejuice.
Yeah, that's the only thing that makes perfect sense, because you get that guy back in your face again. Yeah, so let us talk about the reception. All right, Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. It's got a 77% from the tomato meter and 81% from the popcorn meter. So both sides pretty much agree that this is a great film.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the critics. I thought the critics would have had the higher score than the audience, but
yeah, no, they both pretty much agree, and the audience loved it more so than the critics. But it's chugging along; it's doing good numbers, and it's pretty popular. So I can see a third movie coming from this for sure. But I don't know what the storyline would be, because it ended pretty much like perfectly. But the only thing I can really foresee is Lydia going to the other side.
yes,
That would be the third movie, and she would either be stuck with Beetlejuice or trying to get away from Beetlejuice or something like that. So that's the only thing that I could think of.
Yep, and I also love that. Like some people online have posted Easter eggs and found things to look for in the film.
Yes, you have found quite a bit, actually. Want to release some of those Easter eggs that you found?
All right. Well, one, I thought this was hilarious, but the head shrinkers,
Mm-hmm.
Two of them were the actors that played the Teletubbies.
Mm.
So we had two of the Teletubbies as the head shrinkers. They had references to Beetlejuice musical throughout the entire thing, including like reference to Lydia's dead mom and Delia being the stepmom.
Mm.
They had a reference to a song from Beetlejuice. There's a song called "Say My Name," and
Yeah.
one of the signature lines of the song is, "I've been swimming with piranhas. I don't need a shark." Meanwhile, Lydia's boyfriend gets eaten by piranhas, and her dad gets eaten by a shark.
Yeah, that's right.
So like two references to the songs and stuff in that. And in the Broadway show, Lydia goes to the other side to visit her dead mother. And this one, Astrid goes to the other side to find her dead father.
Okay. I see what you mean.
And also there was the rule that you can get resurrected if a dead person marries someone from the world of the living.
Oh, yeah.
Because that used to be just a throwaway thing in Beetlejuice that we didn't know why he wanted to marry her, really.
Right.
It was like,
why?
That was obscure, but then it's like, oh, there's actually a stipulation that if a dead person marries a living, they get to get resurrected.
Right. And of course, we talked about the Alec Baldwin's character and Gina Davis's characters from. They mentioned them in an off scene. Oh, they moved on. They talked about them. I thought that there was another Easter egg. Oh, the woman that was the realtor. She was the young girl from. Well, I thought that she was supposed to be the young girl from the original.
But she's the daughter of the one from the original.
She's the daughter from the one of the original?
Well, it's an actress playing the daughter from the original.
Oh, wow.
the real estate agent's daughter that was in the back seat of the car during the first one.
Right. It was supposed to be the daughter that was in the back seat.
And this is that daughter grew up, and now she has a daughter of her own.
Oh wow. So and it was like a mirror thing. Yeah.
Yep. Oh,
Yeah.
and also I found another way they worked around the dead people, because they worked around the Maitlands being too old to reprise their role, and Alec Baldwin being possibly in court.
Yeah.
So the Maitlands passed on.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the dad from Beetlejuice is a registered offender. So
Yes. SA.
they used claymation to show his death.
Yeah.
So that he didn't actually be in it.
And then, of course, them playing Deo at his funeral, which is a call to the first one.
There's
and
also there's also a nice little call out, because the actress that played Juno, their caseworker,
yeah,
well, she wasn't in it either, because that actress is also no longer with us. That actress is deceased.
For a long time ago. I think she died not too long after the first one.
So they have a newspaper article that's flowing in the hallways after Dolores kills the janitor, that says caseworkers on strike.
Right.
Saying that you don't see any caseworkers because they're all on strike.
Yeah, that was clever. And then, of course, Beetlejuice kind of took in the role, and he and Bob kind of took over. I thought that them using the way they used Bob was hysterical.
Yes.
And that he basically had Monica Bellucci coming after Bob. And, that kind of part was sad. It was like, no, not Bob.
Oh my God. That just reminds me. I laugh because like there were some children in the theater when I saw that. And the little children yelled, "Not Bob! Not Bob!"
Yeah, I thought I was one of the, I mean, I'm not a child, but like I was one of the, no, not Bob, so.
I love, they were like hamming it up. They were like, "Why, Bob?"
Yeah. All right, well, let's get in our final glance. Beetlejuice 2 is a hoot. For those that like lean heavily on nostalgia, this is for you. If you remember all the things from Beetlejuice 1, you will be greatly appreciative of Beetlejuice 2 movie, for certain. I, for one, think that a third movie is called for. I don't know how they would put it together, but I sincerely hope they do. I think that I had a great time in this. This is the first movie I've seen since Romulus. I used to go to the movies twice a month. Now it seems like it's once a month. It's because of certain things that are happening in my life that I hope will change soon for the better. I've been praying on it. Hopefully it'll come to fruition. But what are your final thoughts of Beetlejuice?
I thought it was a fun movie, and I liked that it wasn't a complete rehash of the first one, or like the over the top sequels where like they rip off something completely different. Even though I just did mention the stuff they stole from the Broadway show, they also did have stuff referencing the TV show and stuff referencing. It was a nice fusion of all Beetlejuice media into one thing.
Yeah, because you had the Beetlejuice baby from the cartoon that popped up.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice reference. I caught that one. Yeah. So overall, would you watch it again? Or
yes, I definitely would watch it again, and I want to see if there's stuff I missed.
Yeah, because there's a lot going on.
And the visuals and fun trying to figure out how some of the different people died.
Yeah.
I laughed at like some of the people like in the afterlife. I've seen like making of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like they had like one of the football players that was like dead, and they were like, "Oh, how did I die? I slept on a banana peel."
Yeah.
And it's like guy has like all sorts of metal pieces sticking out of him.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. Well, that's gonna wrap it up for this wonderful fray into 1 week later. We got to do some more of these. It'll be a lot of fun. Billy, thanks for joining us. It's good to see you as always, and we'll be back next time. In the meantime, if you're hankering for more of me, you can check me out over at the Captain's Quadrant with the other two Jasons as we talk about Star Trek. Of course, you can catch up with us on the console room on this very channel every Tuesday at 8 p.m., even though that hasn't happened in quite some time. And of course, you can hear me on the AJ Orsini's Uncensored Mind podcast. You can go over there to the OUM pod and check me out. I was in his Saturday released episode. It was a lot of fun catching up. We were talking about a lot of hot topics, including the passing of James Earl Jones, which you can catch our tribute video there on To Be Seen. This is Joe Dove for the To Be Seen channel. Be sure to check us out in the future. We're going to have more 1 week later coming at you pretty soon. But they might be movies that came out earlier in the year. Maybe we'll do Romulan, Alien Romulus or something. So until next time, I'm Joe Dove. That was Billy, and this was 1 week later.